Tavares and Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel on BBC Radio Oxford. Right, it's 11:18. It's a Friday, and you know what happens on a Friday. I said it's a Friday like I was Italian. So, on Fridays, new movies come out, of course, and that is where I enlist the help of movie critic Van Connor. He comes on every Friday at this time to chat about some of the new movies that you could actually go and see this weekend. Welcome back to the show, Van Connor. How are you? You all right?
I'm great, Mr. Ball. Do you know, I've seen some great stuff this week. It's been a banging week for movies, and I get to share one of them with you at least.
Yes, so we are... Well, yeah, I like what you say, one. So we're going to talk about Beetlejuice in a moment. I'm not going to say it 3 times, but let's start with the new Jude Law film, Firebrand. Now, I was quite surprised at who Jude Law was playing in this.
Yeah, and he's not even the lead. So Jude Law is playing Henry VIII, which you and I, as, you know, men who enjoyed the 1990s and the aesthetic of the 90s, find mind-blowing to believe now.
Yeah.
Jude Law could convincingly play Henry VIII. But he's kind of the secondary character. Our main character is Catherine Parr, the final wife of Henry VIII, played for the screen here by Alicia. It's the English language debut of Argentinian director Karine Añuz, and it is the story of Catherine Parr being made regent in Henry's absence while he's off overseas, ruling the kingdom in his stead, having to live under the rules that he's already put in place, and also try and keep her own head from the chopping block, courtesy of all the devious, other agents around the monarchy and the castle, and that's not including Henry himself, who swiftly returns home and, let's just say, is not the nicest of people to deal with. I've got a clip for you.
Leave us. We'll be alone with my wife. Shut up. Take the King of Spain to our chambers. The Queen must have peace. Quiet. Seymour. Always whispering in corridors, you noticed?
Is that so?
He thinks because his nephew is my son, our heir, and one day he'll be king, in all but name.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I've seen the trailer to this, and I actually think Jude Law makes a cracking Henry VIII.
He does, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing, isn't it? That he can. It's Jude Law, man. My, how the greats have fallen. Anyway, so... pretty decent, but let down by a really uninvolving and very robotic lead performance from Alicia Vikander, which I adore otherwise, and she's constantly overshadowed, in addition to that, by just how scene-stealing Jude Law really is as Henry VIII. Secondary cast in there, you've got like Eddie Marsan, Tom Riley, Simon Russell Beale, you've got that. So it's got a decent pedigree behind it as well. Production value is quite lavish, like a lot of like love and care has gone into the look, the aesthetic of this, but it is let down by quite an uninteresting lead, which is a bit of a shame. Also, what kind of a title? The novel, I think, was titled something, The Queen's Something. They've retitled it Firebrand. I don't know why that sounds like a really trashy Jessica Alba action movie.
Yeah, I agree. The title doesn't really sell it to me, but I would like to watch this just to see Jude Law as Henry VIII, if I'm quite honest. All right, so Firebrand, you can go and see that in cinemas from today. I'll tell you where at the end. And also, Beetlejuice. It came out, the new one, highly anticipated by a lot of fans. I'm just annoyed at the title, really, having to say it twice. Could they not have just called it Beetlejuice 2?
I want to Beetlejuice. That was my choice for a title. 36 years on, Winona Ryder's grouchy emo teen from the first movie is now the mum of the family arrangement. She has a teenage daughter of her own, who's a mopey emo teen, who's played by Jenna Ortega from Wednesday and the Scream sequels. Grandpa dies, Jeffrey Jones, off screen, and very specifically and at length, for reasons. Just go and check out Jeffrey Jones's Wikipedia page. It's a pretty big thing. So he can't be in the movie. The idea is the family reunite for his funeral, and they find themselves caught up in Beetlejuice's latest scheme to hatch his way into the world of the living, all the while being forced on the run from this evil, malevolent serial killer of the underworld who can actually murder the already dead, who happens to be his ex-wife, Monica Bellucci. So have a listen to this clip. This is Winona Ryder and her boyfriend, Justin Theroux, who's a bit of a beta cuck trauma bonder type.
So you're saying that someone called Beetlejuice...
Don't say his name. If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
I know this is a big step for you. But in the words of Dr. Glickman, I'm going to give you the push you need. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Is that...
Beetlejuice!
First of all, I want you two kids to know this is a safe space, okay? Feel free to express yourself. Don't be afraid. I sense there's an enabler here, but we'll get to that.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
So, how does it compare to the first one then? Have they still kept the essence of what Beetlejuice is?
As far as the characters go, yes. Right, you have to give it that. And it is a very well-made, very high-end, expensive Tim Burton movie. I don't think it's as good as the first one, because I don't think it has that 2D, enjoyable, two-dimensional, flat quality that the first one had, where it almost felt like you were watching a ramshackle stage show, where it was loose, it was a little bit free, and it just went off on tangents and stream of consciousness. And it worked. It was, but to give it a really unique signature and personality. I don't think this quite has that, but it's not a badly made movie. It's the best quote-unquote Tim Burton movie in 24 years, maybe, since Sleepy Hollow. Give or take his other films, him returning to This Is What Makes Me Tim Burton hasn't really panned out in recent years. Look at something like Dark Shadows, for instance, or his Willy Wonka. They don't work as Tim Burton movies. This feels like the first good one since Sleepy Hollow. Having said that, Jenna Ortega's a really bland lead. Willem Dafoe and Justin Theroux steal it, but are both underused. Monica Bellucci is so underserved by an overcrammed story that she could easily be cut and the movie would actually benefit from it. Save it for a sequel, or Threetle Juice, as I'd like to call it. But yeah, it's good fun. I wasn't bored, except a prolonged and needless musical number that just drags the third act to an absolute standstill.
And what about belly laughs? Many of those in this one?
Many. It's got that kind of dark, macabre humour that I very much like. Good. You know, the jokes you only get to make with undead characters. I love that. This got a few laughs out of me.
Amazing. All right. Well, there's this week's 2 movies, Firebrand and Beetlejuice. If you want to see Firebrand, it's Odeon, Phoenix Picture House, View and Curzon in Oxford, as well as the Regal Picture House in Henley, and the Light in Banbury showing that one as well, Firebrand. And Beetlejuice, this weekend you can see it Curzon, Odeon and View in Oxford, as well as Cineworld Whitney and Didcot and View in Whitney. So View in Bicester, and loads of options for you to go and see them this weekend. So get out and enjoy. Thank you, Van Connor, for those. Anything big to look forward to for next week?
Oh, you really want to look forward to next week, because we're going to be talking about Speak No Evil, the English language remake of it. I'm going to watch the Danish original at some point this weekend if I can fit it in, but I'm desperate to now, having seen the English language remake. I mean, the Danish version is always more twisted. I got to know what they cooked up for this one.
All right, we'll find out same time on Friday next week. Have a lovely weekend, Van, and we'll speak then.
Till the next time, good time.